Maelstrom Wanderer versus Yidris Maelstrom Wielder. Always worry about that commander being across the table from us. We will keep that because we can go into Lotus Cobra on turn 2. Get down our tap land. And throw it back over. We'll go over Maelstrom Wanderer. That is 8 mana for a Teamer commander. 7/5 that gives our creatures haste. You cascade twice when you cast it. Really good against control builds. Even if the Maelstrom Wanderer gets countered, we still get those cascades. And our opponents just passed through their turn there, so I just want to make sure that... Yeah, I don't want to get a free turn on our opponent, so just want to make sure that they don't F6 again, hopefully. We just both get a free card draw there, and there we go. So there's no real advantage to either of us there. We just both delve a little bit deeper into our decks. Let's go for Lotus Cobra. This is landfall. Whenever a land enters under our control, we add a mana of any colour. Can get a hell of a lot of mana out of this thing, especially in lands matter decks. Not as much in Maelstrom Wanderer, but still enough to make it relevant. Yidris Maelstrom Wielder is every colour except white. It is a 5/4 with trample, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, as you cast spells from your hand this turn, they gain cascade, so a couple of cascade decks pitting it off against each other. Cascade, for anyone who doesn't know, is whenever you cast a cascade spell, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile a non-land card that costs less. Then you may cast it without paying its mana cost. Our opponent has gotten down a Wheel of Fate. They didn't cast that, did they? So they just went for the Bad River and had to discard the Wheel of Fate. We can get down our Oracle of Mul Daya here, which I think is the right thing to do. Always yes and yield to the Lotus Cobra. And then we can play lands off the top. There aren't any, so let's just get down a mountain. And unfortunately can't get the Spoils of Victory going. So we'll just go in with the Lotus Cobra and poke our opponent. And we just really need to hope that we can ramp faster than our opponent can, which it seems as though we are doing thus far. But it's early doors yet. There we are, speaking of ramp, there's a Cultivate. Alright, that is one land off the top, and we've got another one in Temple of the False God. That's really, really good. So Temple of the False God effectively gives us 3 mana this turn. Now, do we want to go with Spoils of Victory to shuffle that Chaos Warp away? I don't want to ramp into Chaos Warp, or cascade into Chaos Warp, I should say. We'll just go for the Tropical Island there. We'll name green. We did go for Spoils of Victory there, didn't we? The Chaos Warp has ended up back on top of our library somehow. Okay, I think we just have to... Well, we can go in for Sphinx of Uthuun, I suppose. Sphinx of Uthuun will give us a fact or fiction. Now our opponent has a difficult decision to make here. Okay, they don't want us to have Chaos Warp, I don't think, but I like this pile better anyway. We have card draw in Mull Drifter and See the Unwritten. So we'll just get down that Mana Vault now, save us doing it next turn. And then we'll swing in with these things. We draw into a Worldly Tutor next turn, which is good with our Maelstrom Wanderer. In response to the Cascade, we can Worldly Tutor and put a creature on top. Might go for Kiki-Jiki actually, so that we can get multiple Sphinx of Uthuuns into play. And there's a Demonic Tutor. They may be looking for a Toxic Deluge. Okay, they've got themselves a Sol Ring. I don't know if that's what they tutored for or not. And they're going for a Rex Sage onto the Mana Vault. So our plans are not really changed all that much. I was just working out, I think we could have gone for a See the Unwritten next turn. But apparently we're not going to do that now. Let's just go for the Maelstrom Wanderer. And then I don't really like Splendid Reclamation on top, so I'm going to go for the Worldly Tutor now. We can search our library for a creature card. Now I'm going to go for the Kiki-Jiki. Put that on top, and then we cascade into it, which means that we can cast it for free. And then we cascade again, and we get an Avenger of Zendikar. That's lucky. I think we've got another land drop to make this turn. And then all of our creatures will have haste. We get another land. Didn't actually look on top of my library, or we could have cleared a command tower off the top actually. So probably should have done that. We'll always yes and yield to Avenger of Zendikar. Oh, and what we could have done actually is copied the Avenger with Kiki Jiki. Yeah, should have done that before we made a land drop. Oh well, I think we can just go for a copy of Sphinx of Uthuun and get another fact or fiction. And it may be that we are taking our opponent down to 0 this turn anyway. But yeah, definitely should have waited for the land drop and gotten another Avenger of Zendikar in play. We've got another land on top now. Let's just quickly get our Chromatic Lantern down. And then it's swinging through with everything. Apart from these two. They're just going to chump there. Oh, and we take them down to 1, so perhaps should have worked that out and gone wide. But I'm pretty sure this game's over anyway. Yeah, our opponent's just passing it through to us, so being a great sport there. They are just allowing us to swing in, unless they have a Cyclonic Rift maybe. There's me thinking they were being a great sport. Actually, they have a Rift seemingly. Yep, they sure do. So they managed to live another turn. Let's go for the Lotus Cobra again. I dare say we can get a lot of this stuff out again anyway. We'll get Oracle of Mul Daya down. Clear a land off the top. And we'll get down Misty Rainforest. We'll get a couple of landfall effects from this. In fact, we'll just wait for now. How about we go for our Avenger of Zendikar again. And there we go, we might be seeing our Kiki Jiki interaction after all. Going for Maegrim, so maybe they have wheel effects in the deck. Well, we know they have at least one in Wheel of Fate. That is Mind's Desire. Shuffle your library and exile the top card of your library. You may play it without paying its mana cost. They get to do that twice because it's a storm card. They get a land. And they get a Primal Amulet, which I don't think is going to help them. And they scoop there. Yeah, we were just going to turn everything sideways next turn. Going in for Kiki Jiki, I think. Then getting down the Avenger of Zendikar just to show you all that interaction because we missed it previously. Then getting down a couple of lands and a third land from Misty Rainforest would have been a boatload of tokens on these things. And then if we could afford it, which I dare say we could have, gone for the Maelstrom Wanderer to give everything haste. This is complete overkill, of course. All we really had to do was swing in with one of our creatures and could have won a turn earlier had I have worked out the maths on that, but didn't bother because I didn't want to leave our opponent waiting. So there we are. Hope you enjoyed that one. Maelstrom Wanderer versus Yidris, Maelstrom Wielder. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.